students are there, other students, other programs are there. You please make sure these two great country, the students of two great country can come together and think something forward. Tagore again says, wrote that it's the speed of work makes the road. And we have to decide the speed of work, working again and again to make the road. Make the road for a brotherliness. Make the road for a peaceful existence. Make the road for a social development. Make the road for economic prosperity. If we can do that part of it, I believe this program will have a little bit of contribution towards that. Thank you very much.
Yes. I request Honorable Chairperson of this program to deliver a few words to us.
It will not be few words. Dear Amitabh, Professor Tripathi, Kulkarni, my colleagues, dear guests, students, first of all, let me welcome you to our beautiful country and also to this beautiful state. It's called Meghalaya. Meghalaya is actually called Land of the Clouds. And ladies are a majority in your group, so this is a land where the ladies rule. Societally, it is a patriarchal society. And to my students, it's very difficult to talk in a function like this, because there are so many things. I'll divide my talk in two parts. The first part is personal and the second will be managerial. The first part is I come from a place called Manipur. Manipur is probably the last state next to Sagaing. So I have my connections with Myanmar from my great-grandfather's time. My great-great-grandfather, uncle, he was a ruler of Manipur. So we had a very close association with Awa. I don't know, you know Burmese history or Myanmar history. It is one of the kingdoms in North Myanmar, which is called Awa. Awa is very big. So they occupied my place for 7 years, from 1819 to 1826. That ended in what is called the First Anglo-Burmese War. It ended in 1826 by a very famous treaty called the Yandabu Treaty, in which Burma relinquished its claim over Manipur and Assam. These were all once part of Assam. So my great-great-grand-uncle actually went with the British right up to Mandalay. You have the Kumudwar, what you call stupa or monastery, that there he's supposed to have left 3 slashes of mark with his sword on the door to tell that he had come there. And during his time, a lot of Manipuris, my people, stayed in around Mandalay. There are 6 colonies. Incidentally, Manipuris are called in Myanmar as, I don't remember the exact word, you are called in Manipuri Awas. All Burmese in Manipur are known as Awas. We are called Kates. I don't know what it means, but it's called Kates. My pronunciation will not be as good. There are 7 localities around Mandalay where they stay. I have met them. They don't speak the language anymore. They are just like you. except they are Hindus. There's a long story. During the 7 years rule, surprisingly, on one side was my uncle, great-great-uncle Dabir Singh. But his own brother was ruling on behalf of our kingdom Manipur. So the 7 years was also ruled by his brother on behalf of Awa. Then he was succeeded by his younger brother because he ruled for 1 year. And finally, my great-great-grandfather's father was ruling on behalf of Awa. So my association runs many. That is part of it. But the more important thing is, strategically, today, we live in a more regional world. We don't live in a globalized world anymore. The world is no more flat. You must have read that famous book. Yes. Thomas' book, but that is now slightly outdated after the recent changes in the United States. Today we live in a more regionalized world. And that's where countries like Myanmar, India, Southeast Asia, ASEAN, we all come together. Because as Professor Amitabh has very rightly said, time has come when we start looking at each other's neighbor much more closely. You have been tied for a long time, even now with China, on the northern half, Kunming side. But then you have your other neighbors. So we have, with the government of India, we have a policy now called the Look East policy. But it is now being changed into what is called Act East policy. The idea is that unless neighbors learn to know each other, if you go to the border town in entire Northeast where we are with you, you will find half your people come to my part and half my people go to your part to get foodstuff. When we were kids, I used to go to Moray, I used to walk across. It is absolutely the same. Absolutely the same. Today, if I don't get rice, if I don't get kerosene oil, in Manipur or any of the border states, I get it from your place. Kerosene comes, rice comes, otherwise we get our rice and wheat coming from Punjab, from the west. Now unfortunately, all of us in the northeast, we prefer your rice. We like your vegetable because it's the same. So the question that comes in is, what is all the high-flown partnership about? It's all right in a larger area, but regionally, unless we put our houses in order, your country in order, our country in order, we are so happy that your set-up democracy is now coming in a big way. There has been major changes in Myanmar. I would recommend in this connection you read a book which is called, I don't know, you must have read it. It's a very famous book where China meets India by U Thant. Min U Thant has written it. It's a very fabulous book. You will know all what I have spoken just now, all in that book. And if you want to be good corporate leaders looking after this part of the world, which eventually you will be all one day. Like our children here, my students will one day be going there because Myanmar is opening up. There are very large companies setting up. I have been extensively gone around. I have been to China so many times. I have been to part of your world. Read this book, it will give you a background of the first lesson which Professor Tripathi has said, the geopolitical realities of Southeast Asia shall continue. We are very closely interacting with Bangladesh, all our neighbors. But for us, Myanmar is extremely crucial. Because it is only through you we have access to Southeast Asia. So with the Asian highway, the land connectivity, and also check up, there is a very famous, we have what is